Hey there, and welcome to my channel, the Paperbag Investor. In today's video, I want to look at Tesla's full self-driving software and how it's improving over time, and why this is so important for you as a Tesla investor or someone who might be interested in investing in Tesla. So let's get into it. But before I go any further, just want to make it absolutely clear, I'm not a personal financial advisor, just a guy with a paper bag on his head who loves investing and thinking about the future. If you love investing and you love thinking about the future as well, I encourage you, hit that subscribe button down below, follow along with my channel as it grows, and become a better investor with me. Can't guarantee your portfolio's performance, but it's in the bag that subscribing to my channel will make you a better investor over time and should help you see investing principles better and ask hopefully better, deeper questions. So if that'll interest you, please subscribe to my channel. But today we're looking at full self-driving for Tesla and how it's improving and why that's so important for you as an investor. So full self-driving continues to improve. If you're a Tesla investor, this is super important, okay? This improvement that we're seeing over time. Full self-driving beta 10, just came out yesterday. Full self-driving beta 10 is a complete life hack and the best update ever, and Elon Musk even replied to him, this is a good one. They do updates to full self-driving every week, 10 days or so. There's been updates happening consistently for the last several months, and it's consistently getting better. And I'll list some of my favorite full self-driving YouTube accounts below in the description if you want to check some of those out. But what improvements are these people seeing? They're seeing less interventions. They're seeing long drives with 1 or 0 interventions occurring. It's doing things it couldn't do before, including failed intersections being done successfully, flashing red signs or flashing red light where it stopped and operated that kind of intersection successfully, construction zones smoothly. It's done those before, but even more consistently and smoothly. And I think overall just seems like people are saying they're seeing less interventions, which is the most important metric I would say is you're needing to take over. The car can just handle and drive successfully with less interventions. Why does this matter? Why does this matter to you as a Tesla investor or someone who might be thinking of investing in Tesla? The value of driver assist systems rise exponentially once they reach level 5 regulator approved status. So if you're talking about different driver assist systems that different companies have that might help you stay on the freeway, might help you stay a certain distance from a car in front of you or slow you down, those are helpful and valuable, and people pay some amount of dollars or worth to that. But the value of a system like that rises very steeply once it reaches a level 5 regulator approved status, meaning that you could literally have the car drive and you could be asleep in the car or no one could be in the car. It's suddenly much higher magnitude or magnitudes higher of value with that type of system versus just a system that is close to that but can't do that. And I think Tesla will reach regulator approved full self-driving before anyone else. And I think it will make them the world's most valuable company over time once they do. This is why 90% of my portfolio is in Tesla, and I'm not rebalancing that portion. I'm just holding on to that because I think the stock's going to go much higher than it is right now. From a previous video I did on Tesla's 2030 valuation, and I'll put a link to that video. It was called, Should I buy Tesla at $700? I will put a link to that down in the description if you want to check that entire video out. But some details from that video where I tried to evaluate what their full self-driving part of the business could be worth in 2030. I said from 2020 to 2030, we'd have about 50 million vehicles in existence. For Tesla vehicles, that assumes that they grow at an average rate of 40% year over year. Some years, of course, might be higher. This year, they might do 70-80% growth. And then by 2030, it might be lower, might be 10, 15, 20% growth. But I'm going to assume 40% average year over year growth will get you to about 14 million annualized sale of annualized deliveries by 2030. If you add up all that cumulative summed growth over the next 10 years, you'd have about 50 million vehicles in existence. And we're going to assume 20% of those are used as ROBOTAXIS full time. That means you have 10 million ROBOTAXIs in that year in 2030 available to the fleet. And for each ROBOTAXI, you'd have about 100,000 miles. Say each one could do 100,000 miles a year, or and half of those, 50,000 of those, were billable miles, where they actually were doing something that someone would pay for that trip in their robotaxi. And let's say they can charge $1.25 per mile. Maybe that comes down slowly over time, but maybe at that 2030 they're charging $1.25 a mile. You're talking about $62,000 a year in revenue. 50,000 times $1.25, and at 25 cents a mile overall cost. That's ARC's ARC Invest. That's their kind of prediction for the overall cost of an electric vehicle, because electric vehicles get cheaper and cheaper the more kilometers you drive them. So they're thinking about 25 cents a mile overall cost, and you'd have a net profit of $37,000 for each robotaxi. When you look at their you have $25,000 in expenses, and you have $62,000 in revenue from the vehicle. And let's assume $22,000 goes to the vehicle owner, $15,000 to Tesla. This balance will obviously be a ratio, or will kind of fit to what the market is dictating, which is just how if they need more people to be Tesla robotaxi operators, then this number will obviously go up until that need is filled. So that could change or shift one way or the other, depends. But say it's in this relationship, Tesla makes $15,000 per robotaxi per year, and they'd have $10 million in that year. You'd have an operating profit of about $150 billion for Tesla. And I give them a PE ratio of 40 to this operating profit. It gives you about a 6 trillion market cap for their robotaxi side of the business. And 40 might even be a low multiple, could be much higher than that, because if they're making 14 million vehicles a year, maybe 10 million every year could be added to that number, to the fleet. 10 million of the 14 maybe million they're producing. So this 150 billion could grow much bigger. So this, I think, really is quite conservative analysis, but I'm just saying by 2030, if Tesla can solve full self-driving level 5, they could be that part of their business could be a $6 trillion business. And this is why I'm really excited about Tesla, this is why I watch these updates and little incremental improvements week by week that are happening very, very closely, because I want to be sure to know whether, if there is anything wrong with Tesla and their full self-driving plan over time, I want to be the first to know about it and be the first also to share with you guys. But so far, the results are extremely encouraging as they're improving. Seems like it's steadily improving with less interventions, more intersections that were difficult. It is now handling. So that's very, very exciting. And I think overall full self-driving robotaxis will change the world. A lot of people just do not grasp how important this is, but they're going to make it much easier to travel. They're going to make it also cheaper to travel overall. And the result of those two things is that it's going to make all kinds of new businesses more feasible, as the costs and logistical challenge to move people and goods will become very easy and inexpensive. And that's going to radically change the world and overall make the world better for everybody. especially if you're a Tesla shareholder and this all comes true and they reach this level 5 full self-driving for anybody else. And that's why I'm so excited to be a Tesla shareholder. That's why I just think it's so important to understand this and grasp these kind of technological changes and invest where you think invest in a way that really takes advantage of them. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments down below. When do you think Tesla could reach level 5 full self-driving? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the algorithm, and subscribe to this channel if you got value out of this video and you want to see more content like this. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.